Accessing peace. Existing without violence, with the ability to calmly resolve conflict. Downloading love. An overwhelming, deep, positive affection towards others. Activating liberty. Living your life as you see fit without infringing on the lives of others.
Welcome to Peace, Love, Liberty Radio, online at fppradio.com. I am your host, Darryl W. Perry, the Liberty Penguin, the Wombat, the uncut cocaine of libertarianism. And have I got a story for you? So I don't even know how to begin telling this without sounding like a crazy man. So I just finished recording an entire podcast, and I don't know what happened, but somehow the flash drive just ejected itself as I was recording. And when I went to do something, just everything went poof. Everything went poof. And now I'm recording for a second time. And wow, it went poof. Just like gone. Poof. And I know that technological failures happen, but I wasn't expecting this. And yeah, now I'm just trying to figure out how to go about redoing this. And I realize that this is not intriguing radio right now, but I am just, I'm shocked that this happened. And again, I don't know what happened where I recorded and then I went to select the audio, I think, so that I could do the hard limit. And hard limit is where you wind up boosting and then capping at a certain level so that when people play back and they listen to the podcast, everything sounds the same. It's not one of these things to where some spots are louder than others and other spots are super, super quiet. It winds up trying to, make sure that all of the audio is roughly the same. And yes, I realize that there will be a little bit of difference between those two pieces of audio there. But wow, yeah, I'm just so baffled that happened. Now, and the funny thing is, I was talking up how great this new laptop is in the original podcast that I recorded, and it's still a good laptop. So if you're curious, and I realize that everybody is now confused because I'm confused. But yeah, I was giving some updates, and I bought a new laptop a few days ago, and it's much bigger than the other laptop. It's got a lot more RAM than my old one. This one has 16 gig of RAM. I've got a 1 terabyte hard drive. Not going to have to worry about storage on this thing for quite a while. I'll still wind up every now and then going through and deleting out certain files, etc. There's no reason that I need, yes, here's a screenshot of this specific thing that I took for this specific purpose so that I could post this on social media, and then I did that. Yeah, I can delete those. That's why I have a folder titled temp folder delete when finished, so that I know delete these files. I don't need this folder filled up with a bunch of junk, basically. So yeah, got a new laptop from Think Penguin. It's a privacy-focused company. They're not a sponsor, by the way. But yeah, good laptop. And I say good laptop after somehow having a failure. But again, I don't know what happened there where the flash drive ejected itself as I was recording. So I'll make sure to hit save as soon as I'm done recording on this. Also want to sort of explain and give an update, explain why I didn't have a show last week. And yeah, I posted on social media due to unforeseen circumstances. Part of those unforeseen circumstances was the amount of time that the Not a Bus was in the shop. Not a Bus, of course, being the thing that I generally record in, also live in, that if you were to look at it, you would think, oh yeah, that's a bus. It's a small bus. But it is, in fact, legally not a bus. Buses, under the legal definition, require seating capacity for 15 or more passengers plus a driver. And legally, one is required to have a CDL to drive a bus. This has seating capacity for 2 people, maybe, plus the driver. So not a bus. It's been converted into basically a modified RV, absent kitchen and bathroom. So, yeah, not a bus. Again, looks like one. It is not one. It had some mechanical things going on where, and I think I mentioned a while back about the tranny recently getting replaced. There was still some sluggishness, so took it in, get some new wires done, a couple other things done, and wound up taking a few days longer than I thought. I was thinking it might be, 2 days max. Wound up being about 4. And just based on the time of when I could go pick it up last Friday and then other things, I just was not able to get a show done last Friday. And for that, I do apologize, because I like providing consistent content. And it's one of the things that when I am explaining to other people how to wind up creating a podcast or creating any kind of thing on a recurring basis, is have a schedule and stick to it. And I like having a schedule, and I like sticking to the schedule. But again, every now and then things happen. And one of those things that I'll go ahead and preemptively mention, and I'll mention again next week, is that in 2 weeks, there will not be a show. In 2 weeks, I'll be traveling via, I think I'm taking Amtrak down to the District of Criminals, running a 5K for, I forget what group I'm running for, but they're providing the race registration. There's going to be some kind of thing. I just had to get myself there. And yeah, so that is happening. Stay tuned. There's more. I've got other updates that I want to talk about. Stay tuned. There's more here on Peace, Love, Liberty Radio.
In 1999, Darryl W. Perry began a search for traditional values, which led him down a path to the ideas of liberty. He tells the story in A Rebel's Journey, My Path to Liberty. Of the book, Dr. Brian Sovereign says, sometimes it's funny, and sometimes I think it's crazy, but it's always authentic. Find A Rebel's Journey, My Path to Liberty by Darryl W. Perry on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, ask for A Rebel's Journey wherever books are sold, or visit arebelsjourney.com.
It is the year 91,001 BCE. Witness humanity's origins in Hyperchronius, a classic role-playing game for Windows PCs, with a story like no other game before. A liberty-oriented experience that is not to be missed. Go to ZOG.Ninja to get your copy of Hyperchronius today. Use the code FPP to get $1 off. Hyperchronius, ZOG.Ninja, code FPP.
Hey, this is Scott from the ANCAP Barbershop, and you're listening to Peace, Love, Liberty Radio with Darryl W. Perry.
Welcome back to Peace, Love, Liberty Radio, online at fppradio.com. One of those updates that I want to talk about actually involves one of our sponsors. That would be what is now Horizon, previously known as Zencash, rebranded about a week and a half ago. And I'll try to remember to find the link to the live stream that they did where they explained the reasons behind the rebrand. And I like the name Horizon because, again, it's not just a cryptocurrency. Yes, there's definitely the cryptocurrency built into Horizon, and that currency will still be known as Zen. They just basically dropped the cash word from Zen. the currency, Zen, Z-E-N. But Horizon is a privacy platform built on zero-knowledge technology with a decentralized secure node architecture. The Horizon platform enables real-life uses beyond currency, including the ability to privately chat with other people. Soon, Horizon will enable you to publish information and go anywhere on the web, all with complete privacy. Horizon, bringing privacy to life. Learn more at horizon.global. Horizen, horizon.global. And again, part of the reasons that they expanded was, or rebranded, is they're expanding the focus. So instead of just being a cryptocurrency, and I'm using air quotes there, because being a cryptocurrency is not a, oh, you're just doing fill in the blank. Like, that's a really good thing, but they are wanting to do so much more. So they're expanding the horizon of possibilities, if you will. Horizon, HORIZEN.global. And just a quick plug for Free Talk Live here. If you listen to Free Talk Live, they're doing some giveaways the next couple of weeks, specifically targeting podcast listeners. So listen to the podcast, freetalklive.com. There are instructions on how you can enter to win some Zen. And, of course, you can learn more about Zen and Horizon at horizon.global, HORIZEN.global. And there was something else, another update of sorts. Yes, the race that I ran last weekend. Wanted to talk about briefly, where I wound up, and if you've listened to the show, and heck, if you listen to the first segment, you know that I do some running because I mentioned going to D.C. in a couple of weeks to run a 5K. Well, last weekend I ran my 7th total half marathon, and I was not prepared for that race. And by not prepared, I don't mean that I had not put in the training. I've been putting in a lot of run training because, again, as you may or may not know, I'm running the New York City Marathon in November. And I'm doing that for Team Innocence Project. Looking to raise about $500 more for the Innocence Project. You can donate by going to run.fppradio.com. All of the money that gets raised through that link, run.fppradio.com, goes directly to the Innocence Project. None of that money goes to cover any of my expenses. I have those taken care of. run.fppradio.com. Now, the race this past Saturday, I did not realize that it was a trail race. And there are some major differences between road running and trail running. And most of what I do is road running. Now, yeah, some of my training runs, I do wind up going on some trails, but they're definitely nothing like what I experienced this past weekend, to where I was having to jump over creeks in a couple of spots. There were several spots where there were roots coming up through the trails, definitely lots of mud because it has been raining, and rocks, several spots with lots of rocks, a lot of spots where all you could do was power hike. There was no running up some of these rocky hills. It was you power hike up this hill. And I heard people say before the race, because I'd never done this race before, otherwise I would have been prepared for what I was dealing with. But I heard a couple people say, oh yeah, my time on this course is 15, 20 minutes slower than what my normal half marathon time is. It's like, all right, well, dealing with the hip thing, and I still don't know what's going on with the hip. I should probably go to a doctor to get that looked at, but I'm scared that the doctor will say, like, you shouldn't be running and you can't do New York, so I'll wait until after New York. I might even wait until after Millinocket. in early December. And I realize that's really putting it off, but like I don't want to miss any of my upcoming races. And yeah, I've been taking it easy on the training to make sure that I don't wind up, like making anything much worse. But, dealing with the hip thing plus the terrain and all of the elevation, there was a lot of elevation gain. I'm still trying to figure out how the entire race went uphill. I'm not a fan of races where the entire thing, and it was an out and back. So I went in, go out, come back on the same path, out and back. But the entire thing seemed to be uphill. I wound up still beating my second worst time. And that would have been the second half that I did, which was Old Port last summer. I think the time there was 2:18:21, 2:18:30, somewhere around there. The race this past weekend, 2:18:08. So wound up, didn't do worse than that. But again, that fits within that 15 to 20 minute slower than regular half marathon time that I heard other people talking about, where the first three halves that I did this year were two of them 1:59:55, which is very strange that two of them the exact same time. And then the third one that I did was 2:01 and some change. So right around 2 hours, 18 minutes slower, not that bad, especially on that course. Stay tuned. There's more here on Peace, Love, Liberty Radio. I'll be changing topics in just a moment.
This November, I'll be running the world's biggest and most popular marathon, the New York City Marathon, as a member of Team Innocence Project. The Innocence Project was the first legal organization to systematically apply DNA testing to cases of wrongful convictions as a powerful tool to reveal innocence. It's already been an extraordinary year for the Innocence Project and their clients. They've already freed more innocent people in the past 12 months than in any year in the history of the Innocence Project, and they're gearing up to do even more. The attorneys and paralegals for the Innocence Project are dedicated to doing whatever it takes to set an innocent person free. To support them, a new cohort of law students have recently joined and are excited to help with more than 200 cases of clients seeking to prove their innocence. 9 clients have been exonerated and reunited with their families in 2018 already, and your support now will help build on the incredible momentum of exonerations. You can support the Innocence Project by going to run.freetalklive.com. That's run.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to Peace, Love, Liberty Radio, online at fppradio.com.
Hey, welcome back to Peace, Love, Liberty Radio, online at fppradio.com. I am your host, Darryl W. Perry, the Liberty Penguin, the Wombat, the uncut cocaine of libertarianism. And before I change topics here and jump into an actual show topic instead of just Darryl explaining various aspects of his life, I want to make sure that I tell you about Spend a Bit. Spend a Bit is a search engine for things that you can buy with Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. They have aggregated millions of products from thousands of cryptocurrency-enabled merchants. Keep your money in the free economy. Spend a bit. Use my affiliate link, spendabit.fppradio.com. And if you're a crypto-accepting merchant like I am, ask about their merchant suite to reach even more customers. Spendabit.fppradio.com. Spend a bit, all one word, spendabit.fppradio.com. Now, let's actually jump into one of these list articles that sometimes I love and sometimes I hate. And sometimes the reason I hate list articles is because the headlines can be rather deceiving, right? So you've probably seen the headlines of millionaires do these 4 things. Maybe it's true, maybe it's not. But not the implication, but what is being implied by that headline is, if you do these 4 things without changing anything else in your life, you will somehow magically be a millionaire. Which is not true at all. You can wake up 4 hours early before going in to, do whatever factory job you do. Not saying anything disparaging about factory jobs. I've worked in factory jobs. But one of the things that I read in these lists of here's what millionaires do, one of them is always, wake up 3 to 4 hours before they begin their work. But again, just because you wake up early before going to do a job that pays $15 an hour doesn't mean you're going to be a millionaire. You have to do a bunch of other things to wind up being a millionaire. But this is one of those to where the inverse can be construed to also be accurate, meaning that if you flip the subject and the other, I always forget the verb, or not the verb tenses, but the parts of the sentence. But if you flip those around, sometimes it's true. And this one I would say is true. So headline from myfitnesspal.com, specifically from their blog. And yes, the link will be in the show notes. Headline is 6 things healthy people do every morning. The inverse, if you flip the sentence parts around here, the inverse would also be true of if you do these 6 things every morning, you will be a healthier person. Before I jump into the list, they do have a preface paragraph that says, creating harmony between family, work, and health can feel like a never-ending circus. But life is about finding balance, and each morning can be a fresh start. Below are 6 habits that healthy people do, and it sets them up for success. Now, not saying that I do all of these, not saying that I'm the healthiest person on the planet. I am not by any stretch of the imagination. I'm also not saying that I don't do these things. I'll explain as I jump in. Number 1, healthy people eat veggies at breakfast. They say you may already be eating the most important meal of the day, but is it optimally fueling your body? Simply having a slice of toast or bowl of cereal may not be the best choice. A balanced breakfast includes protein, fiber, fat, and a variety of colors to keep you satisfied and prevent mid-morning cravings. And then they give a couple of suggestions. Now, for me, I actually don't eat breakfast. Keyword there is eat. I do consume breakfast. I wind up having a smoothie for breakfast, and I think I've talked about that before, explaining the various things that go in. And my smoothies generally, asterisk, every now and then I wind up running out of a product that goes in my smoothies, and then I've got to wait a few days to get said product in the mail, or just a couple days before I realize, oh right, I need to go to the grocery store and get this thing. So I generally do have protein and fat in my smoothies. Those generally come from a peanut spread with coconut oil. It's kind of like peanut butter, but it has less than 90% of, the ingredient is peanut butter. So legally, it is a peanut spread. So protein, fat, check. I actually add fiber into my smoothies. I also wind up putting bee pollen granules, honey, and the veggie that I put in, spirulina. So I do consume veggies in my breakfast. I just don't eat the veggies. Number 2 on the list, drink a glass of water before reaching for that cup of coffee. That's right, hydrate. Make sure you hydrate. And I don't drink coffee. I don't think they're necessarily suggesting drinking coffee. They're suggesting that you wind up getting proper hydration, because that's good for your skin, your muscles, and your joints. 4 more things on the list we'll jump into in the closing moments here on Peace, Love, Liberty Radio, online at fppradio.com.
Why do they hate us? Is libertarianism compatible with Islam? Davi Barker answers these questions and more in Voluntary Islam and Other Essays. He advances the voluntarist cause with analysis of the confluence of values between Islam and libertarianism, as well as contemporary movements from the Tea Party to the Arab Spring. Voluntary Islam by Davi Barker is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores. You can support FPP Radio by shopping online. Whether you're looking for precious metals, bitcoins, or books, you'll find that and more at shop.fppradio.com. Every purchase you make from one of my affiliates, like Namecheap, Spendabit, and Amazon at shop.fppradio.com helps fund FPP Radio. Or you can shop directly from FPP with Bitcoin in the Bitcoin store. That's shop.fppradio.com.
You're listening to Peace, Love, Liberty Radio with Darryl W. Perry. Online at fppradio.com.
Welcome back to Peace, Love, Liberty Radio. Online at fppradio.com. I am your host, Darryl W. Perry, the Liberty Penguin, the Wombat, the uncut cocaine of libertarianism, going over a list from myfitnesspal.com. 6 things healthy people do every morning. And yes, this is one of those rare lists where if you flip the things around, it's still accurate. And when I say flip the things around, 6 things to do every morning to be a healthy person, still accurate. Whereas some of the millionaires do these 4 things. If you flip that around, not necessarily true. So do these 4 things and you be a millionaire? Not exactly true. But again, this, and I'll go through these again. Number 1, have some veggies with your breakfast. Now, again, you don't actually have to sit down and gnaw on a stick of celery or that tiny little tree broccoli thing. You can wind up doing what I do. Put some spirulina in your morning smoothie. Hydrate, meaning drink actual water instead of just, like water with some brown gunk in it. And brown gunk, for those of you that enjoy the stuff, is coffee. Number 3, they say sweat in the morning. Some people are just too tired to get a workout in after work. So get that done first thing in the morning. For me, I don't get my workouts in the morning. My schedule works best to where I'm able to fit it in late in the afternoon, like mid to late afternoon, early evening, depending on the day. But the goal is to get your body moving at some point during the day as it fits into your schedule or as you can fit it into your schedule. 15 minutes of moderate to intense activity can help you reach your wellness goals. Number 4, make a game plan for supper. Not only is meal prep a huge time saver, but it also ensures that you have a healthy option on hand. What's the phrase? Not analysis paralysis, but there's some kind of thing of you're just trying to make a decision and then I can't decide. I'm out of energy, so I'll just go through the drive-through and get whatever the crap meal is. The number 3. Extra size it with a drink because that's easier. No, plan your meals beforehand. They also suggest using a slow cooker. Number 5 is you get some rest. This could include some meditation. And number 6, prepare your day. The link will be in the show notes, and I'll be back next Friday answering your questions. AMA.FPPradio.com.
The podcasts of FPP Radio are licensed under Copy Heart. We believe that copying is a form of flattery and do not abide by the copyright laws. Those laws serve to restrict the flow of ideas which no one can really own. Copying is an act of love. Love is not subject to law. If you enjoy the show, consider joining the Fans program and get perks like ad-free versions of Peace, Love, Liberty Radio and FPP Radio News, and also get a copy of the monthly newspaper FPP News. To learn more or to join the Fans program, visit fans.fppradio.com.